So see if you've heard this before. For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost. For want of a horse, the rider was lost. For want of a rider, the message was lost. For want of a message, the battle was lost. For want of a battle, the kingdom was lost. And for all the want of a horseshoe nail. So I'm going to tell you a story. On 9/11, there was an attack on the United States, and basically airline travel was eviscerated. People didn't want to fly. And because they didn't want to fly, then the orders for the airplanes that were being built went into back order. People weren't ready to buy the planes. And so it turns out that a few years later, when things began to ramp up, Boeing was ready to build again. But thanks to technology and thanks to Walmart and thanks to supply chain innovation, what happened was that because of just-in-time inventory, Boeing did not have fasteners. The fasteners were made by a company that specialized in the fasteners for Boeing. The dilemma is that the fasteners had to lay people off because there was no business. And so Boeing was ready to build the planes, and they did not have fasteners. For want of a fastener, the business was lost. That is one of the many stories in this really remarkable collection of stories called Political Risk: How Businesses and Organizations Can Anticipate Global Insecurity. It's written by Condoleezza Rice, former Secretary of State, and Amy B. Ziegart, and she is a professor at Stanford, and in fact, they teach a class on this at Stanford together, and from the class came this book. Now, if you look back a little bit, go to page 2. Why is this book worth our time? Number one, something bad will happen. This book will help you realize that. You can no longer be surprised that something bad happened. It happens. And so what you need to know is, I didn't know this bad thing was going to happen, but I knew something bad was going to happen. Have you ever had anybody rude in front of you on the freeway? Have you ever been rude to somebody on the freeway?
Oh, no, just a minute.
Yeah. I heard a preacher years ago say, when somebody is rude in front of you and creating a little chaos on the freeway, just simply point and wave and smile and say, okay, that's the one for today. Because it's going to happen. So something bad is going to happen. Number two, something bad will happen. This book will help you plan for it, though it will not help you know necessarily what that bad happening will be. But you will begin to plan for bad happenings. Number three, something bad will happen. This book will help you know how to respond to it. Here's a hint. Go ahead and write it down, even though I'm going to say it to you later. Write this down. Get good at contrition. Interesting. Turn to the back page. 5 lessons and takeaways. Number one, drink coffee with others often, much more often. Adam Goldstein, I think this was the cruise ship, did not begin cold calling people once negative news stories started breaking. He turned to old friends for help. That's a great line. These are people you built a relationship with. And number 5, everyone in the organization and company has to become a risk spotter and a risk manager. Political risk: How Businesses and Organizations Can Anticipate Global Insecurity. Hope you found this useful. Thank you.